Okay, let's dive into something happening at, well, lightning speed in China right now. The explosive growth of instant delivery. And we're not just talking about ordering dinner anymore. This is about getting pretty much anything you need delivered, often in under an hour. They call it Secrea service or store EC.
That's right. It's really transformed things.
Hmm.
And for this deep dive, we've pulled together insights from quite a few sources, key reports, analyses, especially from companies right there on the ground, like
Mm.
JD.com and their logistics arm data gives us a real inside look.
Yeah, and our mission today is really to understand the why. Why is this instant delivery model expanding so rapidly across China? Because it's clearly moved way beyond just, those oops, I forgot the milk moments.
Hmm.
And crucially, what are the big kind of gnarly challenges companies face trying to make this incredibly fast service actually work and, be profitable at scale?
And I think as we unpack these sources, you'll see the story is much richer than just, well, people being impatient. It reveals some really fascinating shifts in consumer behavior
Hmm.
and kind of points towards what the future of retail could look like, maybe even globally.
Okay, so let's paint the picture first.
Yeah.
What does this instant delivery scene actually look like on the streets in China's cities?
Oh, if you've been there recently, you can't miss it. It's just this constant flow of electric bikes, riders in those distinctive uniforms. You got the yellow of Meituan, the blue of L.me, others from Data, JD Doujia. They're just everywhere.
Right.
And the key visual difference now is they're not just carrying those insulated food boxes. You see them delivering bags of groceries, electronics boxes, cosmetics, medicines. I mean, the variety is really quite staggering.
Staggering, yeah. And the scale, the speed, it's almost hard to get your head around. We're talking services covering thousands of cities, promising delivery in about an hour.
Sometimes even less.
Yeah.
You hear these stories, right, like that famous 6-minute lipstick delivery.
Yes, the 6-minute lipstick. Was that real?
Well, it wasn't just hyperbole, apparently. It was a specific example during a JD shopping festival. Now, obviously, it wasn't coming from some huge warehouse miles away. It was likely pulled from a tiny, super local station, maybe even a pre-positioned cache, where they anticipated demand.
Yeah.
But it dramatically illustrates just how close they're trying to get the product to the consumer to hit those kinds of speeds.
Which is exactly how a company like JD frames this whole thing, isn't it? They see instant delivery as like the next era of e-commerce itself.
Precisely. They talk about it as an evolution. You started with long-distance CC. That's traditional online shopping, right? Shipping from national warehouses, maybe hundreds of kilometers, takes a day, maybe more.
Yeah.
Then came near-distance EC.
Mm-hmm.
JD was a pioneer there with services like their 211 delivery, operating from city-level warehouses, getting items maybe within 100 kilometers, often same day or next day.
And now, this is the short-distance EC era.
Exactly. This is hyper-local. Delivery within, say, 3 kilometers or so. Pulling stock directly from a nearby physical store or maybe a tiny urban fulfillment point like a pre-warehouse. And that 1-hour window is the defining feature. JD, for instance, sees this shift as fundamental, not just some add-on service.
This sounds incredibly similar to Jack Ma's new retail idea from back in 2016, that whole blurring of lines between online and offline.
It's absolutely the practical application of new retail. Think about HEMA-Fresh supermarkets, Alibaba's grocery chain. They were basically designed from the ground up for this hybrid model, offering 30-minute delivery straight from their stores, alongside people shopping physically.
Right, I remember that.
And that concept is now putting pressure on more traditional retailers. They feel like they have to integrate instant delivery or risk getting left behind.
And the market numbers back this up, don't they? This isn't some niche thing. We're talking, a market estimated at 3.3 trillion yuan in 2021? That's huge. Roughly 57 trillion yen.
The scale is just immense. And the growth has been steady. Now, sure, the pandemic definitely gave it a boost, made delivery essential for a while.
Of course.
But the trend was already well underway, and it's continuing to expand rapidly even after things opened up. It feels like a deep structural shift, not just, a temporary reaction.
Okay, so the picture's clear. It's massive, it's fast, everyone sees it as the future. But if it's not just about emergencies or pandemic lockdowns anymore, why is it expanding so dramatically? Who's using it and, why?
Well, let's look at the users first. Initially, yeah, it skewed pretty heavily towards younger women, particularly working mothers in their 30s. Our sources show women making up maybe 2/3 of users,
Okay.
and the 30s being the core age group. And a really high percentage, something like 75%, have kids at home. And of those, 70% have children under 12. So you can immediately see how Time pressure played a big role there.
Makes total sense. But that demographic picture is evolving.
Significantly, yes. The data shows a definite uptick in male users, and also in the middle-aged and older groups, say 40 plus between 2018 and 2020. It's broadening out.
Interesting.
Interestingly, the youngest users, like teens and 20s, haven't grown quite as much proportionally. Maybe, they have a bit more flexibility just to pop out to a store themselves.
Could be. And it's spreading out geographically, too, not just the biggest cities.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely broken out of just the major city centers, that old idea of within the Fifth Ring Road in Beijing, for instance. It's pushing deep into lower-tier cities now and covering provinces right across central and western China.
Wow.
Yeah, we're seeing huge growth rates in places like Sichuan, Shaanxi, Jiangxi. Platforms like Data now say they cover over 2,400 cities. JD Anogia more than doubled its coverage to over 1,500 counties and cities by early 2021. It's really spreading.
So more types of people in way more places are using this, which must mean they're using it for more than just running out of something last minute.
And this is where it gets really interesting. It really challenges that initial perception. While, yes, urgent need is still a factor, only about 23% of users cite that as their main reason.
Only 23%. So what's the main driver then?
The overwhelming majority, 74%, are using it for just everyday purchases. And a pretty big chunk, 42%, use it for stocking up.
Everyday purchases and stocking up on an instant delivery platform, that completely reframes it. It's not just about speed, it's about ease, making life simpler.
Exactly. It's about giving people back time, mental energy, making routine shopping faster and, crucially, easier. The sources actually highlight a whole range of these new motivations.
Like what?
Well, beyond everyday stuff and replenishment, people are using it specifically to grab sales or promotions they see. Trial purchases, like they see a new snack advertised online and want to try it right now.
Ah, okay. Impulse buys, but delivered instantly.
Kind of, and even gift purchases makes it super easy to send something quickly to someone else. But the core idea, the big insight, seems to be about reducing the troublesome tasks associated with shopping.
Troublesome tasks.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, think about it, right? The whole process, browsing online, maybe traveling to a physical store, finding parking, dealing with crowds, waiting in the checkout line, carrying heavy bags home, or even just waiting days for a traditional online delivery to arrive.
yeah, all those little frictions add up.
Exactly. And instant delivery just cuts through a lot of that friction. It makes acquiring the goods much, much smoother.
And where are people deciding what to buy? Is it all happening while they're scrolling through the app?
Well, app browsing is definitely key, obviously. But the sources point to something quite surprising. A significant number of purchase decisions are actually made after someone gets a recommendation in person.
In person. How does that work?
Like maybe they're talking to staff in a physical store or just friends and family recommend something. They might be out, see something, hear about it, and then decide to order it via instant delivery later. Maybe when they get home or even delivered to their office.
Huh. So instant delivery isn't killing offline interaction, it's kind of integrating with it.
Seems that way. It becomes the convenient fulfillment method after the discovery happens elsewhere.
Okay, so people are buying everyday stuff, stocking up.
Yeah.
What other product categories are really taking off with instant delivery? It's not just groceries and snacks, right?
Oh, it's expanded dramatically. I mean, yes, fresh food, fast-moving consumer goods, there's still the core. But we're seeing huge growth in categories you really wouldn't traditionally think of for one-hour delivery.
Such as?
Things like 3C products, computers, consumer electronics, mobile phones, also beauty products, cosmetics, even apparel in some cases.
Wait, hold on. Mobile phones. Delivered in an hour.
Absolutely. Mobile phones are actually one of the fastest growing categories mentioned. During big shopping events like 618 or Double 11, they've apparently seen phone tails via 1-hour delivery jump, like 15-fold year on year.
That's incredible. Imagine your phone breaks and you can have a new one in hand faster than you could probably even get to the store and back.
Exactly. It changes the whole equation for certain purchases.
And you mentioned it's not just physical goods, but services too. How does that work instantly?
Yeah, this is another massive growth area. On-site services delivered, well, instantly, in the sense of being arranged and often performed very quickly.
What kind of service?
It covers quite a range. Things like home installation for electronics you just bought, cleaning services, minor home repairs, and notably, healthcare services.
Healthcare.
Yeah. Now, within the service category overall, 3C-related services like installation, setup apparently dominate, making up something like 85% of the volume. But popular specific non-3C services include things like booking health checkups, arranging traditional Chinese medicine consultations, getting your mobile phone repaired on-site, or even certain beauty treatments performed at home.
Wow, so it's really becoming a platform for accessing immediate solutions, not just products.
That's a good way to put it. It's a completely different dimension of delivery.
So the range of what you can get is expanding like crazy.
Yeah.
What about where you can get it delivered? Is it still mainly to people's homes?
Home is still number one, yeah. About 74% of deliveries, according to the data we saw. But we're seeing significant growth in deliveries to offices that's now around 8%.
Okay, that makes sense for lunchtime or forgetting something.
Exactly. And deliveries to hotels, other administrative buildings, they're also increasing. It just highlights how instant delivery is slotting into more parts of people's daily routines and locations beyond just their home life.
And the timing, is it still mostly daytime, 9 to 5 type hours?
It's definitely moving towards a true 2-4-7 model. While the core hours, say 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. are still the peak, there's been really significant growth in late-night orders, especially between midnight and 2 a.m.
Midnight to 2 a.m. What on earth are people ordering that they need that urgently in the middle of the night?
Well, the data's pretty clear on this one. Pharmaceuticals are the absolute leader, making up nearly 40% of those late-night orders.
Oh, okay. Medicine makes sense.
Yeah. After that, it's things like snacks, maybe some basic groceries like grains, drinks. The data even gets super granular. Apparently, pharmaceuticals peak right around midnight. Pet supplies see a little spike around 1 a.m.
That supplies at 1 a.m.
Uh-huh. And late-night food orders, like snacks and things, interestingly, peak even later, around 2 a.m. It really just underscores how this service caters to immediate needs, whatever the time of day or night.
It really feels like this whole network is becoming less like just a delivery option and more like a fundamental piece of city infrastructure.
I think that's right. And you see that in how the platforms are evolving, too. It started primarily as a way to connect consumers to their local supermarkets, right? And platforms like Dada are still huge in that space. They hold about a quarter of the supermarket O2O, online to offline market, partnering with massive chains like Walmart, Yum Shoyi, CR Vanguard.
Okay.
But now they're going deeper. They're integrating directly with the brand manufacturers themselves. Act essentially as a new direct sales channel for brands, and even a marketing engine. It allows these brands to get products into consumers' hands almost instantly, maybe after seeing an ad, and they're reporting significant sales bumps from enabling this channel.
Okay, so we've painted this picture of a service that's just exploding across different types of people, places, reasons for buying, product categories, delivery locations, times of day, even the business partnerships involved. It's clearly embedding itself deeply into daily life.
Yeah.
But building and running this kind of super fast, hyper-local network must be incredibly difficult, right? What are the major hurdles these companies are facing?
Oh, absolutely. The operational complexity is just immense. You simply cannot promise 1-hour delivery consistently from a single big warehouse out in the suburbs. It doesn't work.
So you mean
You need this vast network of distributed stock points. Whether that means leveraging existing physical stores or setting up dedicated small urban fulfillment centers, sometimes called front warehouses or pre-warehouses, but they have to be located very close to the end consumer.
and managing inventory across potentially hundreds, maybe thousands of these tiny scattered locations. That sounds like a logistical nightmare.
That is arguably the single biggest core difficulty. It boils down to precise demand forecasting and maybe even more critically, real-time inventory management across all those small dispersed stock points.
Why is that so much harder than managing a big warehouse?
It's incredibly hard because the actual volume of stock for any specific item at each individual location is relatively low. So think about it. Just a couple of customers making slightly larger than average purchases, maybe buying 3 or 4 of something instead of 1, can completely wipe out the inventory of that specific item at that local store or depot.
Before the central system even knows it's gone.
Potentially, yes.
Oh.
Before the system can react, update availability, or trigger replenishment, it makes stockouts a constant risk.
And we saw a really clear example of this challenge in the sources, right? Using the pharmacy chain Watson's.
Yes. The Watson's case in China is a very telling illustration. So, context.
Oh.
Their overall physical store sales had been facing some challenges, but their instant delivery sales, through platforms like Dada, were actually growing incredibly fast, up like 90% in 2020.
So the demand was there.
The demand was definitely there.
Yeah.
However, they ran into major customer satisfaction issues. People would order items shown as in stock on the instant delivery app,
Uh-huh.
only to get a call or message later asking them to cancel the order because the physical store they were ordering from didn't actually have the item on the shelf.
Oof, that's frustrating. And didn't it mention they often lost discounts too?
Exactly. That was a big part of the frustration. If they'd applied some promotional code or discount to their order, canceling it often meant they lost that discount and maybe couldn't reapply it if they tried to order something else.
So what was going wrong there?
Well, the media reports at the time and the analysis we looked at speculated pretty strongly on the likely cause: a fundamental disconnect, or at least a lag, in the inventory systems.
Yeah.
Meaning, if the instant delivery platform's app isn't getting truly real-time inventory data fed directly from the store's actual point of sale or stock management system,
Yeah.
if it's relying on, say, infrequent manual updates from staff, or maybe just a batch data sync once or twice a day.
Then the app is showing stock that might not actually be there anymore.
Precisely. That lag, even if it's just an hour or two, is enough. An item could be sold to a walk-in customer in the physical store, but the app still shows it as available. Then an instant delivery order comes in for it, and boom, cancellation required.
Beyond that inventory nightmare, there must just be significant costs and efficiency challenges in running the delivery fleet itself, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Huh.
Maintaining a dedicated team of riders ready to pick up orders from potentially thousands of different locations, plus the cost of managing all that distributed inventory, maybe renting space for many hubs,
Mm-hmm.
it's inherently expensive.
So how do they make it work financially?
Well, for instant delivery to be efficient, let alone profitable, you need a really high volume of orders coming consistently from each individual stock location, each store, each mini warehouse.
To keep the riders busy and justify the infrastructure.
Exactly. HEMAFresh, for instance, when they launched, they reportedly had these really aggressive initial targets, something like aiming for 5,000 online orders per store per day to hit their desired efficiency levels.
5,000. That's huge for one store, which must make it incredibly difficult for a traditional supermarket just trying to dip its toe into instant delivery, right?
It really does. If a regular supermarket only generates, say, 20 or 30 instant delivery orders a day, they just can't justify the cost of having their own dedicated delivery staff sitting around waiting.
So they use third-party platforms like Data.
Right, but then they have to pay platform fees for each delivery. And for the platform, handling very low volume from one specific store is also less efficient for the riders, more waiting time, fewer group deliveries. And so those per order fees could feel quite high to the retailer.
Meaning the service itself might be losing money for them.
Often, yes. The analysis suggests that for many traditional retailers, just adding instant delivery on the side, the service itself might well be operating at a loss, at least initially.
So what's the sort of big takeaway here for companies looking at this instant delivery model? What does it really require?
The sources and the examples like Watson's strongly suggest it's a service that demands full, deep, integrated commitment. It's almost a case of do it all in or don't bother doing it at all.
You can't really do it halfway.
Trying to just bolt on instant delivery as a minor sales channel without deeply integrating those inventory systems, without committing significant resources to manage it properly, and without a real focus on building sufficient order volume from each location. Well, it just leads to inefficiency, high costs, and potentially, like with Watson's, it can actually damage your overall customer reputation. It's even predicted that traditional supermarkets currently dabbling in instant delivery might face a kind of polarization. Either they make the significant investment and operational changes needed to go all in and make it work properly, or they eventually pull back because they simply can't make the numbers work or handle the complexity profitably.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive then, the instant delivery explosion we're seeing in China, it really seems to be about more than just people wanting things fast or being impatient.
Yeah, definitely.
It feels like it's fundamentally changing the whole buying experience by taking those less enjoyable parts, all that friction involved in just getting the goods and making them dramatically faster and easier.
That's a great summary. It's adapting to incredibly diverse consumer needs. Different times, different places, different products, different reasons for buying. Moving way beyond just being an emergency fix to become this mainstream way people shop for everything from their weekly groceries to, yes, even a new mobile phone or arranging healthcare.
But, as we've heard, that incredible growth and deep integration into daily life, it's built on an incredibly complex operational foundation.
Very complex. The key challenges, especially that real-time inventory management across loads of distributed locations, and then achieving enough order volume per site to justify the really high costs, those are significant hurdles. They require deep operational commitment, serious system integration. It's not easy.
Which really raises an important final question, maybe for you listening to this. When you consider that intensity, that competition, and this clear need for companies in China to basically go all in to make instant delivery work profitably,
Yeah.
how might this play out in other markets, perhaps like your own?
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it?
Will instant delivery elsewhere remain more of a niche service, maybe just for urgent needs like medicine or forgotten items? Or will companies there also find they need to commit fully, totally rethinking their operations, integrating systems end to end, really pushing to build serious volume for it to become a truly integrated and maybe even profitable part of how people shop every single day? It's definitely a fascinating challenge to think about.